Bootstrap and the CSS grid system, and let's actually build something. Let's go here and let's build one of the a couple of pages that you are working on for the assignment. One of them is the website, right? That has a couple of views, a couple of pages for that. One of them is the website list.html. Okay, let's see what can we do here. First, we'll need to load a couple of libraries, right? So let's load the Bootstrap library using the link, right? And it'll be under let's see, rel. It's a style sheet, and it's in under. Let's see, go back up, and under vendors. There it is. We have put it under this directory, CSS, and then Bootstrap. There it is. Okay, and this is only temporary. This is only so that locally the IDE can give us support as we develop this. But eventually we're going to be changing this to be a CDN, right? When we complete this at the end of the semester, we'll make these changes, right? When we go out to production. So here, just to verify that we are in a website that there's some content. Let's put just some dummy content here. Hello world. And let's try to navigate here. So we should be able to navigate to, let's see, this would be local 4200, views, website list. How's that? Okay, hello world. So we're there, right? We're in that page right there. So in here, I believe the assignment asked you that this page should display a list of websites, correct? So let's give this just a proper name so we know where we are. Website list, right? And we just refresh and make sure that we are there. Very good. And I'm gonna use the following layout. I'm gonna use UL to list all these websites, okay? And I'm gonna use a class that paints our list a little prettier than just a regular UL. So we're going to use here the list group. Again, this is from Bootstrap, and I welcome you to to take a look at the documentation for each one of these. But this is a very common snippet. I could have just copied it from Bootstrap and just pasted it here. So we have an LI, again a class. We're going to paint it into list group item. There we go. And here we can list a couple of our favorite websites. So there's maybe Wikipedia here, and we'll let's create here CNET and Gizmodo. Okay, if we render that, there we go. So we have some lists. You can barely see the gray border, but I trust that it's there. Let's see, what else could we do? Maybe we can add an additional line item at the top where we can highlight maybe that this is the names of these websites, right? So we can use the active class that is going to paint this in a different color. Right, so that first one, now notice that has a kind of like a highlight color, and we're going to change this to name, right? So that we know that this is a kind of like a table, right? Displaying that this is the name of the website. Everybody okay? All right. So we could display a couple other things here. Maybe on the right hand side, we might want to display a hyperlink that might take me to might take me to other places, maybe to the edit page, right? Which we don't have yet. And so this might be going to website edit, which we don't have. And if I click on this, I could maybe use a nice cog icon, and glyphicon that would paint this, that it can be edited somehow, right? That if I click on it, I go elsewhere. I could maybe pull that all the way to the right, right? So that it's listed, it's shown to my right-hand side. So we can do a class pull right, right? That just pulls that cog all the way to the right. Okay? And maybe we can copy this and paste it for each one of these. Right? Obviously, all this is hard-coded right now. Eventually, this will become all dynamic. Right? We'll only need just one of these list groups as a template, which will then be used to copy and paste this over and over for each object in some array of websites. Okay, and that's next week. We'll do that. All right, so we have that. We might also want to, since we have so much space here, right? It'd be nice if we could have maybe a couple more pieces of content, right? And display several more columns when we have more space, and then maybe hide them as we have less and less and less space, right? So to do that, we can make use of the grid system, right? So let's do that. Let's see, Wikipedia. Instead of using this layout, let's add a little bit of grid inside of the LI, right? So let's do that. So we can do div inside of the LI. We're going to create a column here, row, and with several columns, right? So we'll create another column here, class column. How wide do we want them? Well, let's see. We can decide maybe that it'll have 4 equal columns, right? The first 3 actual data, and the last one for our cog. All right, so let's do that. Let's column. Now, typically we would, as we saw in the previous lecture, we would say column dash, and then how many columns we want, right? So we would do something in column. If we want 4 columns, then each column needs to be 3, right? So column 3. Now notice that there is no column 3 in Bootstrap. Okay. Instead, they have column SM3 or column XS3 or column LG3 and MD3. Yes? Right. So what this allows us to do is Bootstrap goes a little further and says, well, because you have so many diverse types of devices, right? Let's create a family of column classes that target specific families of devices, right? And they gave it a logical naming convention, right? SM for small screens, XS for extra small screens, LG for large screen, and MD for medium screens, okay? And those are all documented in Bootstrap, and it says what those widths are, what they consider to be large, what they consider to be small, and whatnot, right? Based on some of the more popular screen sizes out there. Okay? All right. If you don't like those sizes, you can certainly override and recompile the entire Bootstrap library. If you are targeting a specific type of device, you can certainly override it. Okay? We're just going to leave the defaults. Anyway, so for now, we're going to say that we're going to go with XS3. That means, what this means, what XS means, that I want to target for small screens. It means that if this is a small screen, I want a column, right? If this were I would say not extra small, but just small, I am saying that I want this to be 3 columns, three sizes for smaller screens and above, right? If it's smaller than the smaller screen, then I don't want columns, right? Because perhaps it would look ridiculous, right? That in such a small device, you would have, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 columns. right? It would make it very, very hard to read so many columns, right? So columns make sense for larger screens. Might make no sense for smaller screens, right? But it's your decision. If you really, really, really want a column, right? You say, I want it for extra small screens and above, right? I want it for extra small, medium, and large. So let's do that for now, and we want maybe 4 of these. 4. There we go. Yes. In our first one, we're gonna have our Wikipedia. So I'm just gonna move that over. And for our last one, we're going to have our cog. I'm going to put it there. If we refresh, notice that we haven't seen any distinction. Nothing has changed. Doesn't look like anything has changed. But we do have spaces to put other things here. Maybe we can put the last time that it was updated, and we can put the owner of this is Alice, for instance, right? So we have extra columns to put more information. And maybe we could put even more, right? Because maybe a whole column for this cog is too much. We might decide that we might want to rob some of the spacing for the cog, and maybe just one column is enough for the cog. And we have 2 extra columns here that we can put some extra stuff. Make sense? All right. All right. So now again, these are 4 columns, and that makes sense for large screen. Now, as I become smaller and smaller and smaller, maybe it doesn't make as much sense, right? And so what we might want to do is perhaps, depending on your decision of what information is more important than others, right? You might decide that, in such a small screen, maybe the date is not important to me, right? But it's okay to keep just the name of the user, right? And as I become even smaller, then I'll just remove everything. No, none of these 2 columns, and I'll just keep the name of the website. Again, those are all business decisions on how is it that you want to display what you consider to be important. Yes? All right, so let's do that. So what we're going to try and do and say that is that as this becomes smaller, right, what we're going to do is that I really don't want this content. Right, so for large screens, yes, I want all of them, right? And then I become for medium screen, maybe is still good, right? For small screen, right, I only have 3 more choices. I have small and extra small, right? So what we could do is that for extra small, I don't want anything. I don't want the dates, and I don't want Alice. Right, so let's do that. So at that size, what do I have? Well, I still have this 3, and I would have to have 9 on the left-hand side. That makes sense? Right, so for extra small, this should be 9 and 3. And the other 2 should just disappear. Okay, so let's do that. But then, so that's for extra small. How about small? For small, we might decide that I don't want that I'm big enough to perhaps show now the name of the user, right? So for small, I would have what? 3, and 3 is 6, and the rest is another 6 to complete the 12. Make sense? So that's for extra small and for small, right? What about medium? If I'm a little bigger, I might decide that now I have space for all 4, right? And then I'll go to my 3, 3, and 3. And from there on, from medium and above, right? I'll keep the 3, 3, 3, right? Is that a strategy? Make sense? All right. So let's do that. Let's start going backwards, right? From medium, what do we say? We're going to have all 3. Right, is that what we said? For small, no, for medium, I think we should write this down. So for medium, so for small, for extra small, this is going to be 9, right? And my glyphicon is going to be 3. What's going to happen with the other 2? I would want them to disappear, not even be here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to say, I want to hide this. I want to hide this content for extra small screens, right? And for extra small screens. Okay. Now when we get to medium, then what should it become? Well, it should become that not medium, for small, this should be what? We said that this was going to be 6, right? This is going to be 6, and we're going to show, which one are we going to show? We're going to show Alice, so it's going to be column small 3, but we still don't want the date. So it's hidden small, right? And finally, when we get to medium, well, we're going to say column medium. We're just going to go down to 3. This is going to be medium, right? Because extra small is not even going to show, right? So for medium, I want this to be 3. And this should still stay at 3, right? Right. I think that's it. Let's see if we broke this beyond repair. Something we broke. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I think yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was zoomed in. And it was interpreted as a small screen, right? So again, this is large screen, and as I become smaller, as we become a medium, right? We hide the date. As we become small, we decide to hide the name, and then up to this point, we've hidden everything, and we just keep the name of the app. Now, it might be that you want to show more columns, right? It'll be a little more granular. Right, and display even more and hide 2x2s perhaps. Okay, that's up to you. But that's the idea, right? We can always decide what to hide and what to show, and target different sizes of the screen. That make sense? All right, everybody okay? All right. So we can use this same mechanism to create similarly left and right hand side that hide and show. As the screen becomes larger or smaller, right? So for instance, what we'd like to be able to do is click on this and navigate to website edit. Oh, wait, what? I didn't write this. Is it? Website views. Is this cached? Yeah. Yeah, it is going to here. Probably it's using a cached version. So let's create one here. See if it finds it. Website edit. And actually create this h1 website edit. Okay, all right. Yeah, I was looking at some cached version that I was playing around with. All right, so let's now look at creating a website edit. All right, let me stop this.